And this is Fred, if you don't know him, Fred Eskridge, and his wife Skylar. All right. So let's give me another mic here. Here, give me your mic. There we go. And tell people when you came to this church.
Came to this church, I believe it was July 28th, 2012.
Give your salvation testimony a little bit.
So I grew up in a Catholic church, actually, and I knew a little bit about who Jesus was. I knew the story of Jesus, but I never knew him for sure. I never knew for sure that I was going to go to heaven when I died, and that haunted me for a long time, actually, ever since I was young. My Uncle Jerry and Aunt Debbie actually go to this church. I can't see them. I'm looking for them right now, but they invited me and my mother out one night, and we came out, and Brother Charlie preached a message. I believe it was Brother Charlie, but he gave an invitation at the end of the service, and he asked the question, if you knew for sure, if you died tonight, if you're going to go to heaven or you're going to go to hell. And I remember seeing this little picture on the wall when I was young at my Aunt Debbie's house, and it was a picture of people walking off this broad road, and they were walking into this pit of fire. And then I saw another side to the picture, and people were walking over a cross, and there was only a few people on the cross, and there was a whole slew of people on this wide road, and it was lit up with lights, and it looked like they were having a blast until they got to the end. And I asked her what it was, and she told me about it, and that stuck with me for a long time until the day Brother Charlie asked us if we knew for sure we were going to heaven. And I had to walk the aisle that night with my mom, and we actually got saved together. Miss Carla led us to the Lord, and ever since then, God's changed my life. It's crazy.
So coming back into the church,
tell
that story. How did that happen? And what kind of condition you were in?
So, to make it a long story short, I didn't really come back in the church until 2 years later. I was hit or miss. I would come to like maybe one of the Christmas plays or something like that, but I didn't come back, and I was living just like I was lost all over again, and I lived in a rough home, and so that didn't help. I didn't have any good friends. I didn't really have anybody to bring me along until one day I fell flat on my face. I lost my job, had to sell my truck. I had no way to get around. I was 21 years old, I believe. And my mom said, you know what, maybe we should go to church. And I said, yeah, you know what, call Uncle Jerry, have him pick me up. And I went to church that morning, which was July 27th or 28th. I'm not sure which day falls on a Sunday. And in the midst of all that, I was trying to be something great, I believe Brother Charlie wants me to mention this. I was trying to be something great for myself, and I thought maybe God had a calling for me that he didn't have. And I was pursuing a career in bodybuilding, and I know that sounds kind of weird, like was he a real bodybuilder? I was into bodybuilding. I would have given my life for it at that point, because I thought that was my way out. I thought that was my way, that I didn't have to work a real job, and I didn't have to struggle the rest of my life. And people told me I had a promising future in that, and that's when I fell flat on my face. And God he brought me here, and that's when I surrendered my life to God, and I really started living like I was saved. And I got assurance that day of my salvation. I remember meeting Brother Charlie up here at the end of the message, and he was saying how he just wanted to inspire somebody, and I'll never forget that message. And I walked up to him, and I said, man, I don't know if you inspired anybody else, but you got me. And ever since then, 3 months later, I ended up in Bible college, which is crazy. That's a whole other crazy story. So,
who were some of the people influencing you at that point?
So, I saw Travis Clark.
Not Travis Clark, my nephew.
Right.
Travis Clark, who's now in the ministry up in North Jersey.
Yes, sir. And he was sitting over here, and I was like, is that Travis? And I couldn't believe it. I went to school with Travis. He was a couple years older than I was. He knew my older sister. And so he kind of took me under his wing, and then I met Brother TJ, and he really took me under his wing. I remember he'd come pick me up, knocking on my door at 8 o'clock in the morning. My mom's like, TJ's here, and I'm like, what? I'm jumping out of bed and getting dressed, and me and him, we would come over here. We'd do all kinds of stuff, and some of the funnest times of my life was with Brother TJ, and thank you for that, Brother TJ, and Miss Kim. And they've been a great just example to me of a family, and I didn't have that, and they were that to me.
Brother TJ is a weightlifter, and he ended up taking Fred under his wing and discipling him for the Lord and showing him there's more to life than just weights. He ended up coming in the Bible college. It was crazy. It was the Institute then. And we were meeting back in the reception room. I think there were 7 people. There was Courtney, 1 girl, and I think 6 or 7 guys. And second semester, they started, Travis Clark's crazy. I saw him yesterday, and they were working on Fred. And they're like, yeah, can he come in? And just like he just joined in here. He's rough and off the street, and we're throwing him Bible college classes, right? And then he was serving the Lord here in the local church. Somehow made it through Bible college, right? Where'd she come from, right? Skylar, God brought her in to the school, and it was just an amazing thing. Her cousin Mackenzie was here, and the Lord brought Skylar in. And then somehow Fred tracked her down, and they got married. And now we got Titus. And give him an update. What are you doing now? What's happening?
So me and Skylar will be going to Bel Air, Maryland, Emerton Baptist Church, and I'm going to take the position of an associate pastor. I'll be working with teens, helping out in an ACE classroom, get trained up in that, and eventually I can take my own classroom. And I'm just going to be trying to be a blessing to the preacher there. His name is Brother Jason McNeese. Some of you might know him from the men's retreat. And I'm just really hoping to learn a lot from him. He's a really bright guy, and he's a man of the Lord, I believe. And I think I'm going to learn a lot from him. We're having a lot of fun. I'm excited. I'm nervous. And just pray for me and my wife that God would give us wisdom. And I just want to pour myself into some teens there and hopefully make a difference.
Good. It's great, Fred. You can go now. Thank you. We're going to have prayer at the conclusion of the service. I'm just thrilled about having watched God work in Fred's life. And it's been the Lord. I thought about that choir song tonight, Changed. You just heard a story, and you just looked at a person who God has changed their life and changed his life. And I'm so glad. Pastor McNeese is a great man of God and his family. Clayton's here in the Bible college, and Maddie's now married, but I am excited. It's a wonderful church. It's a great opportunity. Skylar's mom attends that church. I won't make you give your whole testimony. Yeah, she's saying thank you because she's trying to keep it together up here. But how long did you come? How long ago? What year did you come? Been here, what, maybe 5 years now? 4 or 5 at least? Yeah. Yeah, okay. So about 5 years, Skylar's been around. She went to school, and they married Fred. And she has an amazing testimony of grace and in her life. And it hasn't been easy for Skylar, but she's put the Lord first. I'm very proud of her. They got a beautiful son. It's amazing. He's built like Fred, right? It's going to be. Freddie's one of the strongest people. Fred's the guy that you go in the gym, the true lifters stop and watch. And he's now got that priority straight, and that it's not his God. God is his God. And I thank the Lord for that. And I appreciate all their work. So, Skylar's going to sing. And then we'll have the message. And then we'll pray at the end. But I wanted you to hear some of what's going on in their life. How many are glad for them tonight? I'm glad for them. Thank the Lord for it.